This is absolutely and unequivocally not the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. In this picture, we have an image of the Prophet Muhammad, and below it the words, "This is not Muhammad." The image is Muhammad, shown with a veiled face and halo from a painting of him at Mount Hira. It is from a 16th century Ottoman illustration of the 14th century Sayr-i-Nebi, an epic on the Prophet Muhammad's life. At first sight, it seems absurdly simple-minded. Obviously, the image of Muhammad is a mere representation of the actual person, and is not the actual person, peace be upon him. Yet, when we ask, what is this a drawing of, we often say, why, it's a heifer, it's a bee, it's an ant. It is the thing it presents itself as. This picture challenges us in a number of ways, and is constructed with various ambiguities. To paraphrase French philosopher Michel Foucault, there are two Mohammeds here, or there are two drawings of the same Mohammed, or Mohammed and the drawing of Mohammed, or two drawings each representing different Mohammeds, or two drawings, one representing Mohammed, the other not, or two more drawings of which neither are or represent Mohammed. But what even is this image of? It is not so simple as a pipe, where we could say, "What you talking about? That's clearly a pipe!" The image is not obvious, but hides what it represents. The face is literally hidden behind a white veil. It's only by reading the declaratory statement written below do we actually know what the image is. It is an image of the Muslim prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the founder of Islam. The image, a grouping of pixels drawn by a computer to this background, is itself part of a context of what is not pixelized at all, and even what is forbidden to be pixelized. The pixelization of the word Muhammad is allowed. However, for a majority of Muslims, especially Sunni Muslims, any visual pixelization of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is haram, forbidden, though #not all Muslims. Visual pixelations of living things could be seen as idolatry, worshipping a mere idol instead of the one true God. To worship an imperfect idol over the perfect God would make God very, very angry, and you wouldn't like God when he's angry. The first pillar of Islam, Shahada, or the declaration of faith, is the recitation that, quote, "there is no God but God, and Muhammad is his prophet." Islam is monotheistic. God is unified with himself, and God is the singular source of all existence, the uncaused first cause. This is the first thing said to newborns. It is said during every prayer, and it is the last thing whispered into a person's ear before they die. Worshipping an image, even an image which is a representation of the one true God, is blasphemy, because it is a worship of something which is manifestly not God. Yet, this picture seems to agree with the common prohibition on pixelization of the prophet. At the same time, the statement, itself a drawing of pixels, describes what the image is of, it also tells us it is not what the image is. The sentence refers precisely to the disproportionate, floating, and perfect Muhammad. It is a fantasy of Muhammad, a mere pipe dream of Muhammad. Because there are so few images of the Prophet Muhammad in circulation, in order for it to be meaningfully symbolic, the text has to invade the picture, even taking the place of the symbolic. Because of the prohibitions and even the lack of features provided by the image we have, the image forces you to look elsewhere to find its answers, the text. But once you've reached the text, you become aware of the prohibitions on such an image. The drawing of the word pushes you away from itself, perhaps even away from the picture altogether. But, at the same time, the pixels of the word seduces towards the pixels of the image. As Foucault says, the text, quote, has returned to its natural site, below the image, where it serves to support it, name it, explain it, decompose it, insert it in the series of texts and in the pages of the book. This pushing us away makes the other almost disappear when looking elsewhere. Foucault says, quote, "the thing that is both seen and read is hushed in the vision, hidden in the reading. They each have their own place in the painting, but maintain a type of evasiveness. As soon as I begin to read, 'This is not Muhammad,' the shape disappears. If I then look at the shape of the image, the pixelized text recedes. It seems the only way to get a grasp on both is to superimpose them on each other. Now, if this were a picture of something obvious, like a pipe, the pipe might say, "You see me so clearly that it would be ridiculous for me to arrange myself so as to write, 'This is a pipe.' To be sure," the pipe says, "words would draw me less adequately than I represent myself." But this is not the case with the featureless image of the Prophet Muhammad. The pixelized word does draw more than the image, at least initially. Attached to the word Muhammad is a whole series of definite descriptions. Born on or about the year 570 in the holy city of Mecca. His full name is Abu al-Qasim. He was visited by ibn Abdullah ibn al-10. He is the husband of Khadija Sauda bint Samaisha bint Hafsa bint Bakr, and Zainab Salama, Habiba, Rayana bin Zaid, Zaneb, Juwarira bint Safiya bint Mamunah ibn al-Hadi. He died on Monday, June 8th, in the year 632 of the current era. It is only by means of these definite descriptions does the pixelized word Mohammed gain any meaning. The word itself excavates the image of Mohammed, but the image of Mohammed says, "You must look away from me to know me." At the same time, the text, so nonchalantly pixelized below the image, would be forced to say, "Take me for what I am, discontinuous lines, haphazardly formed into discrete letters, arranged and shaped as to facilitate reading, assure recognition. I am no more than the words you are reading. The real treasure is in what is normally unsaid and undrawn, the image above." Between these two positions lies a subtle and unstable dependence on each other, a dependence which finds its axis in the word this. There's a whole series of interconnections between the image and the text that hinge on the word this. For instance, this drawing, whose form likely reveals little and pushes us away from it, is not substantially bound to, is not constituted by, does not cover the same material as Muhammad, this word from your language made up of pronounceable sounds that translates the letters you are reading. Another interpretation could be this, the statement arranging itself beneath your eyes in a line of discontinuous elements, of which this is both the signifier and the first word, is not, could neither equal nor substitute for, could not adequately represent Muhammad, one of the objects whose possible rendering can be seen above the text, interchangeable, anonymous, and inaccessible to any name. For a third instance, or function of this statement, this ensemble, constituted by a written Muhammad and a drawn text, is incompatible with Muhammad, that mixed element springing at once from discourse and the image, whose ambiguous being the verbal and visual play the pictures want to evoke. Then our only option is to view it thusly. It is between these two highly contentious drawings, in the empty, calm sand of the picture, that all the relations of designation, nomination, description, and classification betray the evasiveness of the drawings. By the picture's own admission, nowhere is the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Negations seem to multiply themselves. This is not Muhammad, but a drawing of Muhammad. This is not Muhammad, but a sentence saying that this is not Muhammad. This sentence, "This is not Muhammad," is not the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. In the sentence, "This is not Muhammad," this is not Muhammad. The picture, the written sentence, the image drawn, all of this is not the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. In relation to a similar picture called "This is not a pipe," Foucault says the following, quote, "What misleads us is the inevitability of connecting the text to the drawing, as the demonstrative pronoun, the meaning of the word pipe, and the likeness of the image all invite us to do here, and the impossibility of defining a perspective that would let us say that the assertion is true, false, or contradictory." The painter of "This is not a pipe" was Rene Magritte, who often included texts in his paintings. On the subject he said, quote, "Between words and objects one can create new relations and specify characteristics of language and objects generally ignored in an everyday life. Sometimes the name of the object takes the place of an image. A word can take the place of an object in reality. An image can take the place of a word in a proposition. In a painting, words are of the same cloth as images. Rather, one sees images and words differently in a painting. Thank you for watching this video. Do the YouTubey thing, support me on Patreon before this video gets banned, and I'll see you the next time you make a wrong turn in one of my slightly blasphemous but very strange corners of thought. Bye!